Let me say something most people avoid saying clearly. When a woman suddenly wants commitment after years of casual dating, it doesn't always mean she changed. Often, her situation changed. If you can't tell the difference between real growth and strategic timing, you risk making a decision that costs you years of your life. This is not about attacking anyone. It's about recognizing patterns before you commit to them. I'm going to explain what often happens to women with long dating histories after 35, why the sudden desire for marriage can be misleading, and how men end up becoming a backup plan without realizing it. This isn't judgment, it's awareness. Right now, many women in their late 30s say they finally know what they want. They say they want stability, they want family, they want a good man. The real question is simple. Are you being chosen, or are you being settled for? Here's what actually changes after 35. First, biology becomes impossible to ignore. Fertility doesn't decline slowly, it drops sharply. Around 35, egg quality and quantity fall fast. By the late 30s, natural conception becomes harder each year. By 40, the window is closing. This isn't opinion, it's basic reproductive biology. Most women understand this intellectually, but many delay facing it emotionally until urgency hits. That pressure you feel, the rush to define the relationship, the focus on timelines, that urgency is often not about you, it's about fear. For years, she believed time was unlimited. She was told to focus on work, freedom, and experiences. She was told motherhood could wait. She was told medicine could fix everything later. Then reality arrives. Doctors start giving different answers. Risks increase. Options narrow. Miscarriage rates rise. Complications rise. Costs explode if IVF becomes necessary. She watches friends spend tens of thousands with no guarantees. She sees women struggle in ways no one warned them about. So when she pushes for commitment fast, understand what's driving it. You're not just being asked to be a partner, you're being asked to solve a problem that's been growing for years. The second major shift after 35 is her position in the dating market. The attention she once had fades quickly. The abundance disappears. The men who chased her at 28 aren't chasing at 38. Men with resources and status can choose across age ranges. Biology pulls them toward youth. That's not cruelty, that's reality. So she looks around and notices something uncomfortable. The men she wanted have moved on. The interest she gets now feels different. The men showing up are often men she overlooked before. Think about this carefully. You're stable, you have character, you have direction. When you tried earlier, she ignored you. One date, then silence. No excitement, no spark.
Now, years later, she's eager, responsive, talking about values and stability. Ask yourself honestly, did you suddenly improve overnight, or did her preferred options disappear? That question doesn't vanish after marriage. It lingers. Because deep down, she often knows she's settling, and unspoken resentment grows from that awareness. Psychology shows a pattern here. Women with many short-term relationships often develop constant comparison habits. Their minds stay restless, always evaluating, always imagining better. Over time, this creates chronic dissatisfaction. Not because partners fail, but because the mindset was trained that way. This shows up slowly. Intimacy feels performative, not bonded. Emotional distance remains even during closeness. She compares silently, past partners, imagined alternatives. When conflict appears, she threatens to leave, because walking away was always her solution. She never learned to work through difficulty, so she can't handle it now. Anxiety increases, depression appears, attachment issues surface. Many enter therapy in their late 30s without connecting these struggles to long-term patterns. Instead, blame goes outward. Bad men, bad luck, society. Here's the critical difference you must understand. When a woman chooses commitment early, it's usually desire-driven. She wants a specific man. The commitment itself is part of that desire. But later, after years of instability, motivation shifts. Now, commitment serves a purpose: security, structure, time pressure. The commitment is no longer about you, it's about what you provide. That's strategic necessity dressed as romance. You become the solution to a closing window. And paradoxically, she often resents you for that role. This resentment leaks out over time. Subtle comparisons, withheld affection, constant criticism. You represent the life she accepted, not the one she imagined. Let's look at common warning patterns. First, sudden interest in men she once ignored. If she wouldn't look at you at 30, but pursues you at 37, your value didn't change. Her options did. Second, urgency around commitment. No patience, no natural progression, exclusivity quickly, family introductions early, marriage talk before real testing. If you slow things down, pressure appears, emotional withdrawal, ultimatums. Time is working against her. Third, a sudden personality shift. She now claims traditional values: cooking, supportive behavior, homemaking interest. But her past shows no sign of this. It's a role, not a foundation. Once security is locked in, the performance fades. Look for mismatches. Words don't match habits. Values don't match social circles. Modesty doesn't match years of public behavior. Fourth, extreme defensiveness about her past. Simple questions trigger emotional reactions. Topics get shut down. You're labeled insecure for wanting clarity. People with nothing to hide don't behave that way. Fifth, you receive a different version than previous men. They got her youth, her enthusiasm, her flexibility. You get rules, expectations, conditions.
They received effort with little commitment. You're asked for commitment with limited effort. That imbalance matters. Culture sold a story for decades. Focus on career first, delay family. Everything can be fixed later. That story ignored biology. Fertility declines. Attraction declines. Bonding capacity declines. Time isn't neutral. Many followed the script and now face consequences they weren't warned about. The "I'm ready now" phase isn't confidence, it's fear. And fear drives poor decisions. So how do you tell real change from repositioning? First, timing. Did her priorities shift while she still had options, or only after options faded? Second, accountability. Does she fully own her past choices, or does she blame everyone else? Third, consistency. Does her behavior match her claims when no one is watching? Does her environment support her stated values? Fourth, patience. A genuinely changed woman can move at a healthy pace. A desperate one cannot. Fifth, energy. How does she talk about the past? How does she treat you? Enthusiasm matters. Be honest with yourself. Loneliness clouds judgment. Fear lowers standards. The reality is uncomfortable. Many people struggle to form stable bonds after long periods of instability. Patterns don't disappear because the clock starts ticking. You have choices. Believe the performance and hope. Pursue younger partners if you qualify, or opt out of traditional commitment altogether. Each path has costs. What you cannot do is ignore patterns and rely on hope. Love doesn't override biology. Promises don't erase history. Recognizing patterns isn't hatred, it's risk awareness. You deserve to be chosen, not used as a solution. Don't invest your future in someone acting from panic instead of desire. If you've seen this pattern, you're not alone. Many men are navigating the same reality right now. Truth is uncomfortable, but discovering it too late is far worse.